Well, dining out with the kids can be more stress than it's worth. We followed one family to see how they handle it. Take a look.
Before we had kids, we were regular restaurateurs. We love food, and we would go at least once a week out to dinner.
That's Daddy's seat.
Okay, is it okay if I sit beside you a little bit?
Dad.
Oh no.
Is that?
Well, we found once we had kids, it just became really difficult, and for the amount of money and the amount of stress and all the shenanigans you had to deal with in between, it really is not worth it very much, especially at dinner time, because our kids tend to go to bed really early. Oftentimes I resort to giving Jonathan his iPad to play games on because it just helps, I guess. No, we can't sit in our chair. Can you sit on your bum and eat your food? Basically a lot of mess and a lot of fuss, and by the end we're either arguing or we're like, why did we even bother? And we're home, we get the kids to bed, and you didn't actually enjoy your food.
All right, Nanny Robina's here to talk a little bit about what we should be doing with the kids at the restaurant. I was asking the moms in the audience, you know, do you do it? Do you bring your babies? And they said yes, but it's got to be a really family-friendly restaurant. And I know for many years in the beginning, I didn't bring them anywhere. Like, you're not going to embarrass me, child, because people know my face, okay? And they will be like, what is wrong with that woman from the TV? She can't settle her children.
Oh, Tracy.
It's true. So now, I mean, at 4 and 6, we can do it now. They can sit down, and we don't even necessarily need all of those activities because they want to talk now, right?
Yeah.
But what do you need to know when you're first figuring out if you can bring the babies and the toddlers with you to a restaurant?
Well, you know, I don't think there's any hard, fast rule that you can't. I mean, let's face it, there are things that you're going to do with your baby. You got to learn as you go.
Yeah.
You know, you can't say, I am never taking my baby to a restaurant, which I have to tell you. I've worked for people who have said, oh, never again. Took him to the golf club today. I will not take that child again with me. You know, you can't do that. You know, it's a learning experience for the child. They got to practice. One of the things I used to do with the kids that I used to look after as a nanny is I would go to a very low-key place in one of the big stores. In my time, it was Zeller's.
Yeah.
They have that little place at the back, and
like
we
a
would
little
sit.
Cafeteria, like the Kmart cafeteria.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that place.
You know what? The funny thing is, the little guy used to think we were only ever going to that store, let's go for grilled cheese today. He wouldn't think we were going for shopping. But we would practice in there because it was family friendly, it's very low key, and then you move it on to perhaps, a more place like here, Krabby Joe's. We're at Krabby Joe's here where there are many more adults. What you've got to remember is you've got a child in an adult environment. You know, there's only so much patience a child will have. Some of the things you want to keep in mind. First of all, don't take him when he's tired. You want to go for lunch? Look, guess what? If his nap time's at 12, you're heading out at 12, probably not a good idea.
No.
You got cranky pants on your hands. You know, when you get to a restaurant, if you see me, don't sit by me if you've got children. No, just kidding.
See, this is what I'm trying to avoid. Because there are many families now, like really cool, hip parents that are bringing their kids to really super trendy restaurants.
I have been in this situation where I've been in a booth and I'm talking with my partner Frank, and I gotta tell ya, I can't hear what he's saying because the people in the next booth, they're having a great party with the kids, but they've also got these really noisy toys. So when they're not speaking, I can hear ding dong ding and all kinds of bells and whistles. I'm like, really? But you know, me, I'm not a Robina. You know what? I can't say anything. I'm like, tell them to move in. No, seriously, there are some things. When you go to the restaurant, you may need to have a few activities. Choose the quiet ones, moms. Choose the quiet ones because you do have to be respectful of the other diners, let's face it. Something like this, I love this. This is one of my neighbors. And you know what? It's a puzzle. It's just 2 bricks they've got to match up together. So they can sit at the table and do something like that. Some books, some crayons. These are all the things that you want to have on hand.
Yes, color. And also the toys that you bring, make sure it's not toys they were just playing with at home.
Exactly.
Make them new, like just hide them for a while.
I always say, keep the bag for restaurant only. Keep it your restaurant bag, so if they play with it every day, it doesn't entertain them very much. Whereas if you just bring it out at the restaurant, it seems like a whole new toy over and over again. Unless you're somebody that goes out 5 nights a week for dinner. Then, you know, maybe the novelty's going to wear off real fast. So those are some of the things that you want to do. When you get into the restaurant, don't sit down because you only have a limited amount of time of patience with a child. Do not walk into the restaurant, sit down. Shout to hubby what you want, or your partner, order your food, go walk about with the children. By the time you actually sit at the restaurant, you've got 10 to 15 minutes, perhaps patience of a toddler, where you can eat your meal.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to do is walk in a restaurant, sit down and use that 10 or 15 minutes waiting for the waitress to come. By the time your food's come, your child's patience is worn thin and he's ready to go. Well, guess what? You're not going to sit down and have a hot dinner anymore because you've got to go walk about just like you saw with the family there.
Right.
So you've got to, you know, keep that in mind. Go walk around, come back when the food's ready.
The other thing the little boy in the tape did is he immediately picked up the ketchup.
Yeah.
Mine.
Yeah.
So when you go to the table, you have to sort of get rid of the salt and the pepper.
And all the things
how
you
they
don't
love
do.
the salt and the pepper.
Yes, yeah.
That makes a nice little mountain that you can play with.
Yes, yes.
And then the
That's
sugar
ant
can be a
mountain.
boat going
Yes.
through the
Oh,
water
there
of
you
the
go.
salt and the pepper.
So you know what? One of the things you want to do is say to Dad, or you know, just ask Dad, use your initiative, move all the stuff. If you're the one taking baby walk around, rearrange that table.
Yeah.
So get rid of all the stuff that you don't need. Ask the waitress to take it all away. You know, sometimes you'll go to a restaurant and you have a whole pile of things besides the ketchup, the vinegar, and everything else. You'll sometimes find a glass that's got spoons in and things ready for your coffee, right? Move them. The kids, if you don't move them, the kids will. And let me tell you, they're moving them straight on the floor.
Right.
It'll be wham, and it's over. So I want to sit and play with those things, and you might think, well, that's okay. It doesn't become fun after, because once he learns to figure out how to turn that ketchup, when he learns how to take the top off the ketchup and squeezes it at you, you're going to get all upset. Okay, you're going to be all upset that you didn't move it. So
oh yeah, that's a situation right there. You're putting ketchup on me.
Putting ketchup on me.
Yeah, we got to go home immediately.
Yes, exactly.
Right now.
And you know what? Just consider the fact that there are other people in the restaurant. There are diners.
Yeah.
I'm not saying keep it quiet, because if it's a family fun restaurant, noise should not be a huge issue within reason. If your child does end up having a complete meltdown, the polite thing to do, moms, would be to actually exit.
Absolutely.
Leave it,
I'm not
take your
sure why
child and
people
go
stick
out.
around. I don't get it.
No.
Like
So I have been in a situation where they try to calm them down, and you're like, enough already. It's been 10 minutes. It's not calming down. Move.
There's
Move
nothing
it, you
so
know?
important to me that I have to stay. There's no grocery I need that's so urgent. There's nothing I need at the drugstore that I can't make a hasty retreat if someone's going into meltdown mode. I go.
Yeah, you say, okay, can we
Otherwise,
take
it's
this to go?
mortifying.
And you know what? Get your food, go.
Yeah.
And that's it. And the other thing is, it really sends a strong message to your child, because once you've called the shot and not made an idle threat, he'll think twice about doing it the next time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're leaving, we're not having fun.
The only other thing I would add to this is clean up.
Oh, yes.
Clean up after your kids, because it's not fair to the wait staff when a family goes through and then it's like a hurricane went through that one particular table.
Or leave a really big tip.
Or leave a big tip, if you can, and clean up, because that teaches your kids something too.
Yes,
you don't just leave your mess behind,
That's it.
right?
Let's clean it all up.